HIV positive and have AIDS and that have been abandoned. The city council, the rumour goes that they needed some extra money and they decided to dispose of all the municipal properties and subsequently sent a letter to the volunteers that their rental agreement had been terminated and that they had a choice to either move out or to buy the property. The law just provided in a wonderful way that the publicity that we got out of the abortion case actually saved this house for the AIDS babies. The lease has been extended on much more favourable terms than they ever have been.
In Kenya, to get a job, you need a national identity card. Now, to get a national identity card, you need to define where you come from. You need to have a village. Where do you reside? Who is your chief? Now, there's a phenomenon which is not peculiar to Kenya called street people. You know, people who have their parents, the only home they've known in the streets, homeless people, and there are very many of those. Now, what has happened in Kenya is because they have grown up in the streets, they do not have the sort of background that is required, the sort of resident status that is required to get an identity card. So for that reason, they can't get an identity card, so therefore they cannot get jobs. So therefore, even if they go to school, they cannot get jobs. And so that poverty continues to accelerate among street people. So we tried to find out how we could change that situation through judicial reform. And so what happens as a result of our going to court and questioning the constitutionality of that offense was that the government is now registering children from the streets, is now giving them identity cards because somebody started a case. And it's been very exciting to see that you can use the laws that are there. You know, you don't need to do dangerous things, risky things, but that it takes you to make just a small thing, to just the extra effort to do a little more research, to find out from others who have come from other jurisdictions who have done this kind of thing, and you can make a difference.
We look at ourselves and feel that we're helpless against our problems, and we just need to be innovative. And it's interesting to hear your views and to see that it can be done, and it doesn't have to take major funding. As long as the idea is a good idea,
it's gotta be
it has power behind it. It will see the light of day.
The biggest problem that we have is judicial independence in Ethiopia. Shortage of lawyers, shortage of judges, and shortage of divisions at the various levels of the court. So this is my vision. My vision for my country is building up the judiciary, building good law schools across the country so that we have able and competent lawyers.
My vision is to see an equal treatment of all people. What we have had, especially in our country, Zambia, is that women have been kind of downtrodden, and that is why I've been actively involved in the attainment of women's rights. And my dream is to see that people are treated equally before the law, equally in society and everywhere else. That is my dream.
We've been cycling for about 4 hours, 3 hours, and we have about another 40 kilometers to go. And what we're trying to do is to bring Kenyans to the understanding that justice should be available for all, irrespective of somebody's ability to pay, because there is no real system of providing legal aid for people in Kenya.
We're doing especially appeals cases in capital offences, because that gives the accused person the last opportunity ever of not facing death sentence. But then we also do robbery violence cases because the government does not provide free legal representation for people facing robbery violence, which is also a capital offense. So we are doing that. Besides that, we take up other criminal cases where we believe the person is either not guilty, or even if he has committed an offense, is being unfairly treated, not being granted bail, or too many adjournments or things like that, and we just try to help them.
For me, one of the challenges I have is how to integrate my faith in my profession as a Christian lawyer, because I believe the two must go together. It is possible to have a Christian lawyer, and yet as a corporate lawyer, how do I do that? What I have found is that the Lord expects me to be a good steward of my time, of my contacts, the contacts I have. I'm in a position of some influence, and I use those as not my own, but I have a mission. I have a mission to reach with the love of Christ to the people I deal with. I have a mission to be fair. I have a mission to be just. So I see opportunities and people and anything else that comes my way in terms of stewardship. And the other thing is the whole issue about being secure in God. Am I secure enough to put my job on the line if it called for that? Or do I hold on to my job so tightly that I will not let it go for any reason, even if I had to renounce my faith? And I would hope that I'm adequately secure in God to let it go if I had to do that. For that reason, I will not compromise godly standards. I will not do what I think, what my conscience and the scriptures tell me is wrong, because I am secure in God.
While I'm here at Advocates,